Welcome to another edition of the Nightly Nuge. And Ted, again, we're going to dedicate this entire week to your cousin, Mark Schmidt, who passed away last weekend, who I know you were very close to. Again, we're talking about issues that our listeners, our viewers, voters all across the country are weighing right now as we're just less than 2 weeks away from these critical midterms. We've hit some very, very tough topics the first couple of days this week. Today, I want to talk about the border, Ted. Anyone that's been down to the border, like you and I both have, pictures that we're seeing, the sea of humanity coming across that border, it is not secure. Regardless of the reason why it's being done, is there a distinction between the two parties' view on the border? Is there a distinction between the ramifications of the open border that we have now when it comes to crime, drugs, sex trafficking, so on and so forth, between the two parties? Help our listeners and viewers out on this issue, Ted.
Well, you could bring a tandem tractor trailer garbage scow full of evidence to support what I'm about to say, but what I'm about to say is irrefutable. The Democrats don't believe in America, because those who would believe in America, their first responsibility and their first job would be to secure the borders. The Democrats revel in open borders. They will literally have footage of people walking across the border, and the official spokes thing for the president will tell you that no one's crossing the border, while the footage of people crossing the border is being played behind her. So the distinction is quite toxic. The Democrats literally want to bring in subservient, slave-like sheep people that are coming from global hellholes that will take any upgrade possible, which the worst day in America is heaven on earth to a Guatemalan or a Venezuelan or a Cuban or a Mexican. And so if they can import a number of these people that are so horny for a slice of freedom, they will obey the insanity and the anti-constitution, anti-logic, truth, common sense, regulations, and laws that the Democrats are trying to shove down our throat. Conversely, the Republicans, and the great Donald Trump proved it, that a nation is only a nation when you secure the borders. This is not an immigration crisis. This is not people looking for asylum. This is an invasion by any imaginable use of the term invasion. What's going on at our southern border right now, thanks to the Democrats and most importantly, the gangster Biden family, we do not have a border. They are importing subservient, desperate people so that they can replace rugged American individuals who will question authority, who is suspicious of authority, who question decrees and demands and laws and regulations and make sure that they hold up to constitutional accountability. That's the American defiant spirit. And if you bring in people that are living in absolute tyrannical hellholes, they will obey the insanity of the Democrat Party. It's so obvious that if you don't believe in America, vote Democrat. If you believe that Uncle Sam should be part of the gangster organizations bringing in fentanyl to kill Americans, if you believe in that, by all means vote Democrat. If you think secure borders are the number one priority and responsibility of a free nation like the United States of America, you have to vote Republican. Secure borders define a nation.
You know, Ted, you make a great point. Under President Trump, he campaigned on Build the Wall. He then built the biggest part of the wall. And then once the Democrats and the Biden administration took over, they stopped the wall. And you raise a good point about this unfettered crossing of the border. We talked about crime. We talked about education. We've talked about other critical issues. Do you believe there's a correlation in the increase in crime, the increase in drugs in America with this open border down south?
And once again, we don't have to rely on the author of Wango Tango to bring forth proper and defining evidence. The evidence is inescapable unless you wake up every day to escape evidence. Our prisons and our jails are infested with illegal invaders that are raping and sex trafficking children and bringing in tons of fentanyl. Yes, it is the invaders, and they'll call them unaccompanied children, where I see footage of a parade of military-age young men coming into our nation, many from terrorist nations, many from cartel organizations. You've literally got to be deaf, dumb, blind, and mentally ill to not see what the Democrat Party represents. They represent an open border while they look you in the eye telling you they don't represent an open border and that our border is secure as these people are invading by the hour. My friends, the very soul of America is on the table right now. It's on the guillotine right now. And if you vote Democrat, then we're throwing away America. If we vote Republican, we will address all these critical quality of life issues, and it starts with securing the border of our nation. Right now, under the Joe Biden gangster family, our borders are wide open, and we're being invaded by some dangerous people. Not all of them, but enough to be a vital concern. If we don't vote Republican, we will be a suburb of Cuba.
Go to huntthevote.org, huntthevote.org, make a plan to vote, and then vote. Tomorrow night, Ted, I want to talk about what everyone in America is talking about right now. How are they going to make ends meet with the inflation crisis that we have in spite of, and again, I'm using air quotes, the Biden Inflation Reduction Act? Ted, I want to get your take. I think there's a very good distinction between the parties on how to handle this issue tomorrow night, right here on the Nightly News, where there is absolutely no fake news.
Yeah, you know, the Biden Inflation Reduction Act is about as effective as the Ted Nugent Venison Reduction Act. It ain't happening.